The Cawthron Institute's Glenhaven Aquaculture Centre is selectively breeding oysters for traits the industry can use for commercial gain. High-quality single-seed spat is produced at the centre. These are sent to farmers who can grow the oysters with superior growth rates. The centre's focus is now on more commercial productive goals.
About 10 years ago, we started our oyster selective breeding program. And shortly after that, we also started producing commercial spat from this improved lines, selectively bred lines, for the supply to the industry. The purpose behind that is to provide an alternative to the industry, to the oyster grower, with regards to managing farms. The advantage is that all the spat that we produce here comes from known parentage. Those oysters caught on sticks, there's no control over the quality of the parentage, and there's also no control over the sort of density at which those spat settle on those sticks. And lack of control means that the quality is not up to scratch, as it could be through selective breeding. So the advantage of us is that we choose the best genetics, the best selective brine lines for the broodstock, as broodstock for our commercial production, for our spat operation here. And that shows much more uniformity, better growth rate, much better meat conditioning, and allows the farmer to crop much more intensively. Our breeding program is one of the few ones in the world. We are quite leading in some respects. There are breeding programs in the US and Australia, which is very good, and ours here as the main breeding programs. Other parts in the world where a lot of oyster farming is happening right now, and has been in France, for example, they're just considering doing breeding programs such as ours, but they will be selecting for different traits. In terms of spat supply, we are producing about 10 million spat for industry a year. Hopefully, in a few years' time, our production will double, triple, or even grow much faster. We see a lot of opportunity there. This is our new pond nursery system. This is the place where we grow spat from a size of 3 to 4 millimeters to the size of 8 to 10 millimeters screen size before we dispatch it to the industry. What sort of spat is this one? For whom is that one?
We're sending this up north. It's going to be 120,000 going up north.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And, oh, yeah. From the hatchery, we take a very small spat of 0.5 millimeter size into our indoor nursery system, where it's being fed with algae from our intensive care system, but also from natural algae growing in those ponds here, which you see in the backside. Once they reach a size of 3 to 4 millimeters, we then transfer them into this outdoor nursery system. This system has huge advantages over the indoor ones in terms of being able to pump lots of water through the spat, and this water contains food for the spat, so we can produce big numbers of spat in a system like that at minimum cost. Compared to the indoor system, the cost of pumping here is only 5%. With this pond nursery system, we can simulate artificial tides or natural tides, as it would happen and occur in the marine environment. This is a unique feature of our system, which we're quite proud for. We just have to arrange the pumping, put it on a timer, and then induce downtimes, which means dry periods every day. And this has a lot of positive attributes to the spat. Some growers liked originally a very deep-cupped oysters. However, a deep-cupped oyster means that the meat, whatever size it might be, is sunk into the shell, and it doesn't present well. So over the last few years, we have realized that actually an oyster that bends both ways, has a nice cup on the bottom side, but also a bend on the top side, actually is much more favorable to breed for, because once removed the top lid, it presents the meat very, very nicely. It is about meat shell coverage that matters, the appeal to the consumer, to the oyster eater, and this is what we're breeding for. I think we have done a lot of progress. Our selectively bred hatchery spat, once delivered to the grower at a size of 8 to 10 millimeters, is able to grow to market size within 8, 10, maybe up to 12 months. But comparing to other places in the world, they wouldn't have a one-year cropping cycle as we can follow here in New Zealand. In Australia, for example, it would take about 2 years. If you go to France, which is a big, big oyster producing country as well, they would take about 3 to 4 years. So we have a significant advantage over other oyster growing nations in the world.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.